Thank you very much. It's a totally different introduction to my presentation because I would like to guide you with me to take a little bit of value out of this presentation, but there is one necessary point. Step away, one step backwards from your day-by-day business and follow me with a little bit of brainstorming. What could it mean, big data? What's behind that? What is maybe the change? We have heard some presentations where we have touched some areas, but I would like to go far beyond. Because bridging IT is also building bridges, thank you for that, very nice, bridging into the future. So let me talk a little bit about that. As you can see here, the statement is big data at bridging IT. This is our interpretation of things, and I would like to give you an impulse for the discussion later on. So let's continue. And as always, before you get the insight of the presentation, you will have to pass the advertisement. So just a second, I would like to introduce my company. Once again, my name is Detlef Schumann. I'm working in the area of innovation and technology. Innovation and technology. What does it mean? Well, I'm scouting a little bit for new things. I'm scouting for what does change comes from, what is behind, and so on. So the company itself, it's around about 350 people. We are completely independent. We have no partner, vendor, sales dependencies. We are financially sound. It's making fun to work at Bridging IT. So it's a nice company, and we are located in the southwest corner of Germany, from Munich up to Frankfurt, a little bit in Switzerland. So this is what we are doing, consulting and technology. So that was the introduction time. So now we come to the question, what does it mean, big data? Who of you thinks this picture is right? Raise your hands or not. Right. It's right? You're the only one who thinks it's right. The rest doesn't raise the hand, so they might think it's wrong. Well, my interpretation of this picture is, well, this is not really wrong, but it's really old. This is the point. So it's not right, it's not wrong, it's old. Why is it old? When you look at that picture, it starts with megabytes, with gigabytes, tera, peta. Frank Schwamberger shortly show up which huge amount of data is created day by day. And just to make you, once again, to give you a clue what that means, 1 petabyte of data, 1 petabyte of, this is up in the upper left corner, 1 petabyte of data is what Google earns day by day. Just by asking Google, how is the weather? Stuff like this. This is 1 petabyte day by day. Data. So the picture is not old, the picture is not wrong, but old. So this is what I ask you, get out of your corner of thinking. Maybe you are located here somewhere in ERP system, in web systems, or even in big data thinking. You have to go beyond. So what is beyond? And this is what I'd like to guide you a little bit by thinking. When you like, you could follow me. Well, understand the transformation is the headline. This is a little bit out of the company presentation from Bridging IT, but I take this picture because I would like to make you understand where does the ideas come from? Why do we think different? What you can see here on the left-hand side are clients. And it's a little bit similar to your presentation. You show up with different industries. There's automotive industry, here Daimler Bosch and so on. There is an insurance company, there is banking, there are utility industries, there's healthcare, transportation, logistics. More or less all the big industries are represented there. So, and now comes the point, why it is so interesting. It is very interesting to change the point of view. Most of you are working in the utility business. Take your ideas, change the point of view, and believe you are right now working in an automotive industry. Do you believe the automotive guy understands what the utility guy is thinking? Maybe. Maybe not. And this is exactly the point to come beyond. Take the chance to listen to other points of view, to other industries. What is their thinking? What is their problem? What are their business model of the future? We are talking a lot of costs about business models. Here is the answer inside. The answer inside is change your point of view. There is so much value in. And the next step here in the middle is you see some memberships. You need to have collaboration, talk to other people. Try to understand the point of other people. Talk to a lawyer, talk to an investor, to your bank, to your friend, to your wife, whatever. talk to people, understand what's going on. And these memberships here, if it is the Smart Grid Verein Baden-Württemberg, for example, you meet a lot of nice people. Ask them, what do you think about this and that? And this is the benefit you can get out of this. And if you're getting a little bit closer to politics, you can even listen, what is the future? Because there are research development programs, for example. In the morning, I saw some slides with the FP7 program. If you read a little bit in the Horizon 2020 program, for example, you can read a lot about the future, about what comes up in closer future. And you need a lot of partners. This is also very important because we're talking a lot about technology, and technology works quite well if you know partners who can do it. You do not need to do anything by yourself. So act with partners, rely on partners, build networks. This is very, very important. So coming a little bit to the questions, we are talking about big data. And we have a lot of interpretations. What is big data? What does it mean? And in the corner here, you can see, once again, an old picture. Data variety, data volume, data velocity. It's a little boring. Sorry. So what? The question is just about value, nothing else. What is the value? We have heard a lot of algorithms, data analytics. Sorry for that, but again, this is not the right question. The question is only, what's the value? What is really the practical value out of this data? The question of tools comes later. And I think we have a lot of good technology in place. Even the presentation before, a lot of good content, a lot of good technology. We've heard about SAP, we heard there's IBM. There's technology enough. We can solve everything. But the question behind is how to get the value. And here's the answer. The value out of big data is to ask the right question. If I ask the right question, I will find a scientist who will deliver the right algorithm. I will find someone who sells me the right software, whatever. The right question is the real value behind. That we have data enough is not the question. It's no doubt. There are a bunch of data. You remember the bubble chart of Frank, for example. There's a guy in the middle and tons of bubbles around where data comes from. We know all that. We are quite aware of the structure of data, where they come from, what it is. We can analyze. But the question is, once again, what is the value out of this? By the way, the technology we have in place, we can solve every problem. I promise you, we can solve every problem. Maybe it costs a lot of money, maybe, but we can solve it. This is the question. Yeah? And again, we have some good IT stuff in the background, no problem as well. And there's a plus symbol here in the middle. That means holistic approach. That means, again, change the point of view. Think about the opportunities around in different areas, other industries, other processes. What can I do in a different manner? And when you think about these things, then you might come to a question, well, I get so much data, if I combine this and that, and then comes a little bit on the right and a little bit on the left, then you come to probably a new idea. And then you ask a scientist, well, here's a bunch of data, can you find a structure inside? Is there the answer inside the big data? If yes, you got the bullseye. You won. That's the right question. Let me go a little bit, just a little bit, into an example of real big data. At the moment, I'm working for the German government in the accompanying research of electromobility. And what we see there is a lot of research stuff, what companies, and here again, very different companies, are automotive companies, research, university, and so on. And when they start thinking about the mobility of the future, just brainstorm a little bit yourself. What does it mean? Is it still a car? Is it still a car? Or do you want just to come from A to B? Whether it is a car or someone else. Maybe it is an autonomously driving piece of equipment, whatever. There are a lot of ideas behind, and these things which might move you around communicate with other things moving you around. We're talking about Internet of Things. We are talking as well about Internet of mobility. There are totally new things. And all these things, all these items communicate. I'm late, I'm in a traffic jam, I'm going somewhere else, I decide what to do and what I do inside my car, my vehicle. Think just about the entertainment stuff, what you can consume inside this vehicle. When you drive here to this conference, there was a big traffic jam. You lose a lot of time. What can you do in that time? This is something the car industry thinks about at the moment. It is time which is valuable. This is, by the way, a reason why Google and Amazon are thinking about mobility. They would like to have that time when you're in the car and don't know what to do, because it's boring. You're just going from A to B because it's driving autonomously, and then you should do something. And Google and Amazon thinking about the business model, and the business model of them is take the time and sell you some new shoes in Amazon store, a new bag, a new piece of equipment, maybe you're gambling, whatever. Took a movie. These are opportunities to make money. And this, what I just do is taking out, by thinking of a car industry, of automotive industry, into a totally different industry. It's entertainment industry. But I'm still talking about big data. Because all of these business models just work when we have a lot of data in place, when there's a lot of communication behind. And by talking about the communication, this is probably the only serious problem I see in the future. Because the bandwidth we do not have at the moment to realize all these things of big data or even smart data. We have some systems like SAP HANA, I've heard about Hadoop cluster and all these things. These closed shop systems, they are big enough, they are fast enough. But when we are talking about connectivity to mobile devices, and sorry, the industry of the utilities are thinking mainly about fixed assets. And as it said, it is fixed. You can build a line to fix it. Yeah. But when you have a car which is moving around, when you have a ship, you have a plane, whatever, you have a mobile asset. And by the way, the battery of the future, the energy system of the future is also moving around. It's not fixed anymore, it's moving around. So to grab the information from this asset, you need bandwidth. And we talk about a lot of data, you'll need a lot of bandwidth. So here we have just a few ideas of how the future might change. And again, step out of the box, think different. And I'm still in time, right? Yeah? So let me come to my last slide. And here, this is my major message for the discussion. Big data. Big data is just a small, and I'd like to say a very small part of even a bigger change. And the bigger change is what we call digitalization. Frank, just, I think on your slide, I see the term digitalization, and behind digitalization, it is like a big wave. It is like a huge wave. And it could not be stopped. It's already coming. You could not channelize it. You could not say, well, I'm moving around and it passes me. No. You cannot run away. It comes. It comes over you. And nothing, really, believe me, nothing will be untouched. Nothing. Think about that. And then go back and think about what you heard in the morning, talking about smart grid here and metering there and old stuff. And this is what I would like to teaser a little bit. Come out of the box, think about new business models. Do we really need this kind of regulation anymore, or do we build new business models around? Yes, we can, because we can have new ideas. We can apply new thinking. Yes, we are still talking about energy, which doesn't fly through the air. Okay, yes. But we can fill it into a bottle. Someone is smiling, yes, but maybe. Don't underestimate the power of an idea when it comes into the right time. And this is what I'm talking about. However, we evaluate, and whether we like it or not, this is the sentence here on the bottom line. This development will change the economy comprehensively and revolutionary. So this is exactly what my statement is. Get out of thinking, start be creative. Thank you very much.